Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about the Cavs versus the Mavs game, as well as talk about Mavs making the 3 seed and a little bit of playoff predictions and insight. So to start with the game, I thought we played really well, especially in the second half. Luka turned it on. The first half was really fun, I think, because Luka showed off his playmaking skills. He had a bunch of crazy passes to the corners. He had behind-the-back passes the whole game. But the main thing that stood out to me in the first quarter was Dwight Powell's playmaking. I never thought I would say that in my goddamn life. There was 2 or 3 plays where Luka got doubled on a screen hedge. I don't know if that's a hedge, but whatever. And he split the defense with a pass, and Dwight Powell was in the middle of the floor, wide open, and there was another open man because someone was switching to Dwight Powell, and Dwight Powell made the right read every single time, and it led to an open 3 or resetting the play. A lot of times I feel like Dwight Powell panics in that situation, but he played it super well. Our defense in that game was pretty okay. We struggled against LeVert and Garland, but it's expected. I think Garland's just kind of too fast for us. He's way too quick on our feet, and we don't really stick guards onto guards. We stick more Reggie Bullock and Dorian, who are quick, but sometimes they can be really struggle against those shifty guards like Garland. LeVert is just LeVert. LeVert does weird things, so I'm not too worried about him. He didn't have a great game. It's a little disappointing we didn't blow them out a little bit bigger, considering they didn't have Jared Allen or Evan Mobley this game. But a win's a win. In the second quarter, it was just we kind of were missing our threes. Luka was out, so it slumped. We had a really weird lineup with like Josh Green, Jalen Brunson, Marquise Chris, and like Brandon Knight. I don't know what the hell that was about. That's where we lost the lead. That's just not a good lineup. We could build a better lineup. We had Josh Green at point guard for a minute. That was pretty funny. But the third quarter came around, and that was some of the best basketball I think we played defensively and maybe even offensively all year, especially for that like first 6 minutes. Luka was just running on all cylinders. That was just super fun basketball to watch. I know both teams were scoring the lights out, so you're probably saying, what is it defensively that we did well? We weren't giving them very easy shots. It's just everybody was making better plays offensively than the defense could do. It's not that we played bad defense, it's that the Cavs played better offense. Once we took the lead in the third quarter, I'm not sure we lost it. We just kind of kept with that momentum. The fourth quarter was just us keeping the lead. We held strong, which is a great thing for this team, especially since we're led by a younger player. And in the past, we've blown leads in the fourth. Not this year as much, rather the previous years. I think this team and the way we played this game is a great prediction of what we can do in the playoffs. We didn't have Spencer this game, which even shows better opportunity. I haven't talked about Spencer at all since I haven't made a video in a long time. I'll touch up on that right now. Spencer brings a big second ball handler to this team. I didn't realize how much more we needed this. I know all the fans were saying we needed it pretty bad. I just thought Jalen filled into this role well enough. But with Spencer, he has better eyes than Jalen does, and he's a bit more aggressive. This allows Jalen to be the 2 guard basically every time that he's on the floor. You don't see many lineups without Spencer or Jalen or Spencer and Luka. Basically, we have a true 3 guard rotation now. I wish Tim Hardaway Jr. would be back because I think that would be an insane 4 guard rotation, but it doesn't seem like he'll be back this season, even for the playoffs. But like I said, what Spencer brings is a more aggressive scorer. He really looks the score first. He understands the offense, and he really, as he put it, he starts the mixer up again. He starts the blender up again. He starts the offense up again. He's great in the half-court set. He's been averaging great points. He's been doing everything we need. And this is no shade against KP at all. I was a KP defender. I loved KP. But one thing Spencer does, and it's the opposite of what KP did, is KP would have really good first halves, and then he would disappear in the second half. Spencer does quite the opposite. He has bad first halves and great second halves. And this helps us a lot because sometimes there's defensive changes at the half point where Luka gets shut down a little bit more, and maybe our shooters cool off. This allows Spencer to step up and recreate and restart the offense, throw in some confusion because we have someone else driving, someone else creating. I will fully admit I was not a big fan of the trade when it happened. I think I have a tweet out that says, "How did we not get more?" But we definitely got a good return. Spencer's already hit, 2 game winners, and he's not horrible on defense. We still don't have great defensive guards, which hasn't been an issue because we have probably some of the best defensive forwards in the league, and they can guard guards. I'm going to touch up on Maxey a little bit as well. I know people have been dragging Maxey through the sand since the KP trade because he's been shooting a lot less, and not a lot less, he's been shooting a lot worse. And I'm going to throw a little wrench in this argument. Maxey, when he was playing with KP, was more of a help defender. While he was maybe guarding the best big, he had KP behind him at all times to help rim protect. Now, without KP there, Maxey's the primary rim protector a lot of times when he's on the floor. And this obviously probably gives Maxey a lot more wear and tear on defense. And Maxey has been playing really, really good defense lately. I think he is our best defensive big. He still switches well. He's been getting a lot more blocks, and he's been altering a lot more shots. Inversely, I think this has made him more tired on offense and making him shoot less. He did shoot well against the Cavs, and I hope that trend can continue. I know all he really does is catch and shoot and set screens, but we do need to appreciate that Maxey's been playing amazing defense. I think that's all I'm going to talk about the game so far. The Cavs game, I'm going to touch up on the playoff predictions and playoff looks right now. So this will probably be a little bit shorter part of the video. As of right now, we're slated to play against the Jazz. Obviously, this can change. I think most teams have around 5 games left. We're tied with the Warriors, but we have the tiebreaker. The Warriors are skidding right now. I don't know how long Steph is out. Probably at least to the end of the season, hopefully. I would like to play the Jazz or the Nuggets. I hope we don't get the Warriors as long as Steph isn't playing, but I'm assuming he's coming back for the playoffs. I should probably check that. If Steph isn't coming back for the playoffs and they somehow fall to the 6, holy fuck, that would be amazing. But I'll talk about the Jazz right now because I think that's the most likely opponent. The Jazz are scary. Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Gobert. Gobert is going to be a struggle for us. We do decently well against him because we get a lot of switches off of him, forcing him out onto the perimeter. Luka hunts for him off screens. But Gobert still gives us struggles defensively, and so does that team. That team does have a lot of playoff experience. I think we could beat them. We've beaten them before. I think it's going to be a lot different look with Spencer on the floor. We'll have more able to attack Gobert all the time with Spencer, because Spencer can do the same thing Luka does, which is look for that switch. I think defensively, we always do well against Donovan Mitchell, well enough. You just contain Donovan Mitchell. You don't really stop him. We shut down their shooters as best we can. I think the matchup is very interesting. Gobert is a fear for me. I've said that I fear good big men teams, and the big determinant, and there was a 3-game microcosm. I think it was against the Sixers, the Nuggets, and I think it was against the Jazz. And we won 2 of those games, all teams with great big men. We won 2 of those games, and we lost 1. And the one that we lost, we didn't hit our threes. And that is the biggest thing that we need to do, is we need to hit our threes. Oh, no, it was against the Knicks. Good defensive big man. Mitchell Robinson was having a good game that game. We weren't hitting our threes at all. That was a horrific 3-point shooting game. I think that's the big thing that we need to do, is hit our threes. And I think we can win against the Jazz. And then we're also on the opposite side of the Suns, and I think we could beat the Grizzlies. I don't think it's horribly, horribly awful of a prediction to say that we're in the conference finals this year. That would be really nuts. And then if we somehow make a run, I think I will go insane. If I have 2 teams in the finals this year, I don't know how my sports brain could even comprehend that. I think I would somehow become less depressed, and I might actually become happy. Now that's a joke, but I think that's all I'm going to wrap up in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm actually going to be planning on working on an MLB The Show series if anybody's interested. I know it's Inzy Talks Basketball, but I'm just going to do whatever I want with this channel. Thanks, guys.